questions to Minister Finlay. We had an interesting moment in my office. I think about a few months back, we had an older woman come in who we'd never seen before, who'd called in for an appointment. She came in with a walker, and as she struggled to get into the office, she had all of these plastic bags, and you could tell that she hadn't showered probably for days on end, and it was really unfortunate to see. And she came to see me just to talk about politics. And as she was, while talking to her, I was asking her how she had gotten to my office, and she mentioned that she had taken 2 buses, and it was towards the end of the day. So I said to her, "How are you planning to get back home?" And she says, "Well, I'm going to be taking the bus." So one of my, "Where do you live?" And she was very hesitant to answer. And one of my staff members, we were all in the room, and we said, "Why, the staff member's also leaving, maybe they can drive you." And my staff member decided to drive her, and in having her sit in the car, my staffer asked her where she would like to go, and this woman would not say. She's just dropped me off at this intersection. And it was from that point we discovered that she didn't have a home and that she was homeless. And I bring this issue up because when people think about communities like Brampton, they take a look at the median income, which is almost $80,000, and thinks that, it's a very prosperous city and community. But the state of affordable housing in the community is an absolute disaster. People are waiting 21 years to get into a home. There are almost 13,000 families or 30,000 people on wait lists, to get into affordable housing. I want to know what initiatives, are you taking within your government to help these individuals that are real stories, because we read about the facts on paper. And more importantly, we are one of the only industrialized countries in the world which do not have a national housing strategy. Do you foresee with your vision that your government will put in the time, the effort, and the energy to ensure that we as a country do have a national housing strategy so that we can help people like that woman that came into my constituency office?
Let's focus on the really important thing here, and that is people like the woman who came into your office. Excuse me. It is unfortunate in a country as wealthy as ours and in areas wealthy as Brampton that there are still people who, for a wide number of reasons, find themselves homeless. It's not limited to the big cities and the wealthy areas. Unfortunately, we have them in my towns as well. But what Canada does have, in where we are fortunate, is that we do have a wide spectrum of housing solutions that we do provide. Everything from emergency shelters to transition housing, supportive housing, subsidized housing, affordable housing, and even incentives to help people, or discounts to help people buy their first home. In the province of Ontario, where you and I both live, the province has assumed responsibility for these programs. We do provide funding, and we try to work with them to make sure that they deliver what's required. They have indicated that, and one of the reasons for doing this is because they said they know their local needs the best. And while we do continue, let's face it, we are spending unprecedented amounts on housing and homelessness, $3 billion right now per year. And right now we have some 3,500 new projects underway right across the country to help ease the very situation about which you're speaking.
What do you think is stopping the creation of a national housing strategy? I mean, when you talk to other stakeholders and organizations and advocates, and I think you said as a country as prosperous as Canada and as ours, it's an absolute embarrassment, both nationally and I think internationally, for us as a country not to have a national housing strategy. Are you making efforts to try to ensure that goal actually becomes a reality?
I think we do have to look at the reality. Places like the United States, New Zealand, take the same kind of approach that we do. And that is to have a whole suite, a continuum of services and programs that actually function the way a quote-unquote national strategy would, but they're actually in practice, as opposed to something we can talk about. There's something that we've been doing for quite some time. We do it in cooperation in conjunction with the provinces and territories, some of whom have assumed responsibility for it. Places like Australia don't have that second tier to deal with, nor does the UK. We do have shared jurisdiction in this country, and it's something that our government has committed to respecting while we try to address these really fundamental challenges of those who are very unfortunate.
I'm sorry, Ms. Dhalla. Yeah.
is the strategy obviously is not working. When you have a 21-year wait list, you've got 30,000 people waiting. We need to ensure that we do better and that there are programs to be able to help many of these individuals.
Thank you, Ms. Dhalla. We'll go to Mr. Caston, please.